Saigon Children's Charity is an education charity, and despite the name, we're not only based in Saigon. What we do is we help the most disadvantaged kids we can find, whatever their disadvantage may be, and we get them into education and aim to keep them there and supported for as long as possible, because we know that the longer they stay in education, the better their lives are going to be. So there's a huge amount of need across Vietnam, and so it's very difficult for us to reach into every part of Vietnam alone. So we work really closely with organizations like the Women's Union. So they're present right down to every single village across Vietnam. And so they will refer to the charity and they will refer to our social workers. We ask two questions when we speak to children and families that we might support. And the first is, do you need our help? So it's about that level of disadvantage. And the second question is, do you want to stay in education? And for the families, do you want your children to stay in education? And if the answer to those two questions is yes, then we will try our best to help them. And that can be from kindergarten age through to post-university. We will provide them with counselling and support and life skills and all of the other things which will kind of make them a more rounded person, somebody who's better placed to take advantage of their development in Vietnam. And then we will help them, hopefully, into work, because going from a very disadvantaged background with a very poor household and maybe $1 or $2 income into a job where you're perhaps working for a multinational organization and able to support your family, that's life-changing.
When I was young, I had a small family. It's very simple. My mother, my father, and my brother. He needs to work and earn money for people. For my mother, she sick and she needs more money, and he earn money for me go to school. I can start his working hard. I want to earn money for myself and I want to support him. So at this time, I leave my home. I stay in the cafe. In the day, I go to school, and in the evening, I come back to the cafe shop, and I'm working until the 11 or 12 p.m. I know I need to try to study, because I know study is the most important way to change my life.
Thank you to the MiTek team. The partnership between Saigon Children's Charity and MiTek started, I think it was about May 2020. After the lockdown was implemented, people in manufacturing, people in tourism, people in food and beverage, none of them could work. And of course, all of them, started to suffer immediately. And so MiTek stepped in with a grant really early on. It was, by your standards, you told us, a modest contribution. I think it was to support something like 50 families for an entire month. It was huge. And but from that, there was kind of a discussion that started, and it was really clear that that was MiTek's mission too, is that you are there to educate, to innovate, shelter humanity. I mean, these are things you know far better than me, but they just aligned with the stuff that we had been doing. And so there's been a huge contribution from staff being engaged and fundraising. But a huge multinational like MiTek, which has got global experience, it's got thousands of employees with many backgrounds, they can talk about the workplace now, and they engage with our kids and they give them those lessons and they give them that time. That has as much impact as anything we do.
So with me, I have 3 things that inspire me. Go to Saigon Children's Charity Council. So number 1, I really want to help the disadvantaged children go to school. The second, I really want to know how Saigon Children's Charity manage their work, so I can learn from them, and get the experience, and get back to MiTek company and create our own activity. And the final one that I loved I really love to do a charity activity and bring the value for people.
I support my STEAM training. I sharing about my story, my experience in my company, and I listen their story. So I help them to open their mind and connect the new student with other students.
That is the model of success for us, is you take, a child who's got, struggling at home, that's had coming from a disadvantaged background, but is determined to keep learning and to make a better life for themselves. And we give them the support, financial and hopefully moral support, to stay on that pathway through the hardest moments. And we're there to kind of help problem solve and remove those barriers. But then when our beneficiaries emerge from university and end up working for a kind of a world-class multinational organization, that's life-changing.